If you have ever experienced dropouts when using wireless audio equipment, this video is for you. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Árni and I'm a professional audio engineer living in Akureyri, Iceland. I started this YouTube channel just to share my knowledge and thoughts on various different topics. And today we're talking about wireless audio equipment. This video will not really apply to wireless audio equipment that uses 2.4 or 5.8 GHz frequency. Those live in the Wi-Fi frequency band, and what I'm talking about here today doesn't really apply to that. The general consensus among professionals is that 2.4 and 5.8 is bad for audio because it will work until you have a room full of people and then it won't. But there are lots of videos on that topic already. What I'm going to talk about is frequency coordination, why, how, what is it, and how you can easily do it. Wireless coordination is calculating the frequency that you're using so they don't collide with each other, but also keeping in mind intermods that two or more devices will make when you combine them. Why do we have to frequency coordinate? Well, there are two main reasons. The two main reasons we need to coordinate our frequencies is one, the interaction between the devices we have already on site or at close proximity, and outside interference, which is usually TV broadcast or could be cell towers or mobile radio stuff. Could also be walkie-talkies and all sorts of things. But the main thing is TV broadcasts. So the first thing to talk about is the devices that we have. We have to calculate the intermodulation between them, which we can do by hand, but no one really wants to do that. So there are lots of software programs that can do that for you. Most devices also come with some sort of a group and channel presets. What you want to do is to use one group and have each device on a channel within that group, because the groups are calculated from the manufacturer to work with each other. If you have wireless devices from more than one manufacturer or in different frequency bands or types like mics and in-ears, this doesn't really work out for you. So then you have to start thinking about some sort of coordination. There is a very good video about Intermod that explains what it is. Like, I'm not scientific enough to be wanting to do that. I will link that below, and I will also put the link up here if I can. I can't remember if I can link to outside sources. When you get to a venue, before you set up your equipment, you kind of want to know what's already there. There are a few ways to do this. Some of the devices which are networkable, they can do a scan into the software and then you can see what's going on the frequency band that they occupy. A lot of the stuff can do some sort of a scan and just find a group by itself, but that doesn't really tell you what's going on. It just tells you that that exact channel is okay. A better way to do this is with a spectrum analyzer, which they come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, like from the cheap ones that are software based all the way up to very expensive hardware based solutions. Editor's note, I didn't really say why it's better to use a scanner. The thing is that if you're using a device to scan, the device can only scan within its range. So if you have a few devices in different ranges, the scanner you have might only be able to pick up a part of the spectrum that you're using. So that's why an external scanner can be better. What I have been using for approximately 2 years is the Tiny SA, which looks like this. It's very compact and it's very easy to use, and it's very powerful for the price. When I'm making this video, this device, this is the Tiny SA Ultra, which has a bigger display and some enhanced features. That costs about $120 if you buy it from the official store. I will put a link to their website, which you can then refer to the store. I really like this device because, yeah, it's very compact, it's very powerful. It comes with this little guitar pick, because to use the touch display, it has touch display, it has color display, and it's just very easy to use. This can also save a scan onto an SD card, which I can then load into my computer to upload into a software. I will do that later. This also just allows me to see what's in the air where I am. I have this set now. I'm not sure if the camera actually picks this up. I have this set from 470 to 840 just to see what's in the air around me. If you can see the screen, you can see it's not much. I live in Iceland. We're very lucky with the RF environment here. So more on that later. There are also some software solutions. Most manufacturers will have some sort of a software. Shure has wireless workbench. It's in version 7 now. I used wireless workbench 6 quite a lot, and I'll talk about that later. Sennheiser has their wireless show, WWSM wireless show manager. I can't remember what it stands for. And I think some manufacturers will have some software. The old professional standard was IAS, but today more and more people are moving over to SoundBase, and I'm going to give you a short introduction of what SoundBase is and why I like it. I'm going to start screen recording and I'm going to show you how SoundBase works. Alright, so if you go to soundbase.app, you will be welcomed by this site here. You can just create an account if you haven't already. I will just sign in, and it has my password stored. So these are my previous shows I've been doing, and these are some archive one. I'm going to open up the most recent show I did, which was Þjóðhátíð 2025, which is an annual festival in the Westman Islands. That small-ish festival, I calculated 52 frequencies for that single festival. There's nothing here because, yeah, 52 frequencies. You can see it here. Like, this is from one of the bands. This is the festival mics, the festival IAMs. So I will get into more detail on how I set this up. I try to use this every time, and the main reason is because if I use it when I don't have to, I will know how it operates when I really need it. So I will take some small shows. Let's see, I did like a small cover band, which is just 11 channels, but it's still 11 channels. But I decided to do a coordination just to get myself into the habit of doing it, so when I really need it, I can do it quickly and easily. So I'm going to create a new show here, call it a YouTube channel test, and it will ask you for a location. I'm going to put in my address. Well, yeah, anyone in Iceland can look up where I live, so it doesn't matter anyway. So it's getting ready. It will start with an empty project like this, and one of the first things I usually do is I will make a scan. So I'm going to do that using my tiny SA here. I will just turn it on. I hope the overhead camera can capture this. Turn it on, and I will just go into trace, and I will store that trace onto the SD. I will call it YT for YouTube, and 08/08/25, which is today's date, and enter. That saves that to an SD card. I can then take the SD card out, and the unit I bought, actually it came with this card reader included, which has the micro SD card slot, and it has both a USB-C and a USB-A, so it's very useful. So I will load that onto my computer. I'm going to go into scan data in SoundBase, and usually you can see here you will get a map. This is why the location matters. This will look for recent scans around me. This is all scans made by me, and if I zoom out of Iceland, you can see a few scans, and this is all me because I think I'm the only one really using this thing. But you can see here on the left, you can see all the sorts of different scans. You can see how far away from me it was made. I don't know why this is in miles, we use kilometers here. And I can see some of the parameters of each scan, but I'm going to do a new scan, so I'm going to upload, and I'm going to select the model, which is the Tiny SA Ultra, the SD card, and then I just browse to my flash drive, and this was YT0808, alright? Preview and upload. So this is the scan I just did. Alright, I will confirm that and upload it. And now this scan is here inside my project. So as you can see, there's something happening here around the 524 to 534 mark, which is TV channel 28. I can just select that, and that will block that out. I can also see something happening here, and I know this is cell phone data. But otherwise the thing looks pretty clean, and yes, this is a real scan. I am in Iceland. Like, some people will get very jealous of the RF environment we have here. just as an example, I really want to show you a scan made, let's say, let's go to central London and find a scan made there, somewhere in the West End. That's Soho. Where is the West End? Yeah, let's the London, Leicester Square, Embassy of Brazil. Let's just check Piccadilly Circus in central London to see how that scan looks. That's not a very good example. Alright, here's something. You can see, like, here in the central London you have some more TV channels happening. You can see, like, around the 500 mark there are 2 channels here. There's one gap, there's a channel here, there's a gap here, and then there's something here, and you can see like spikes of stuff. The huge spikes here is probably cell phones and stuff. Anyway, we're in Iceland, so we're lucky. So I will start by doing that. I will make a scan or find that recent scan. Like, I could also just go to scan data. Now I've went away. Let's get back home. Let's find the scan I have made at some point, because yeah, it's all me. And you can see on the left side it will show me all the scans available in the area I'm looking at. So this is approximately where I work. It's not the best scan I have. So this one's pretty good. So here you can see that at this area in my town, like, there's obviously something on channel 22. So if you don't have a scanner, you might be lucky and you might be able to find something close to where you are, but you don't know how old that is, and something could have turned on or off, which you don't know about. Alright, so now what we do is we figure out what devices we have. Let's say I'm doing a small show and we will have 10 channels of some wireless mics and 10 channels of in-ears. You usually, because unlike Workbench, SoundBase uses an additive workflow, so it adds the channels, calculates them, and then everything you add will come on top of that. What Shure Workbench does is you make a list of all your stuff and calculate everything. So when you're adding stuff into SoundBase, you want to do the devices that have the lowest range or the fewest number of presets. So let's say we have a Shure PSM 300. Just do a search for that, and let's say we have, now we have to pick which frequency band we're on, and that will usually say somewhere on the device. Let's say we have J10, and we'll pick that. We'll just go with the standard settings for now, and we'll leave everything on. We will calculate that, and it will give me 13 results. And then it will show the channels here down in the green, and I'll just pick any. Let's say we had, I said, 10 of them. So let's say we have 10 of those. We'll add that, and I want to put that into a new group called IAMs. Alright, and now I can name the devices drummer, bassist, guitar 1, keyboards, sax, guitar 2, lead vocals, ED1, ED2, ED3. And since this is using a PSM 300, PSM 300 you can't put exact channels, so you'll have to use some presets. And this will tell us to use group 9, group 9 channel 7, group 2 channel 2, which is exactly the opposite of what I said before. I said use one group and then use the channels in between, but this is a bigger picture, and it will just tell you all these channels fit together within the given parameters. Then we want some wireless mics. Let's say we have SLX D4 on the G48 band. We'll calculate those. That will give us 28 results. We only need 10 of them, so let's just do the first 10, because why not? Add that to group. You don't have to add it into group, but I like it, and I'll show you why in just a bit. Wireless mics. put it up to mics, and then I can actually color this. I want my mics pink, and I want my ears to be, let's say, blue, and that will put the channels here in the colors. So now you can see all of the channels here, and if I hover over them, it will tell me what it is. Now just need to enter those names and numbers into my transmitters and receivers. That depends on the manufacturer how that's done. I'm not going to go over that here. This is what I would do quickly. Now my coordination is ready for those 20 channels. Okay, if I go to stats, you can see I have 20 channels. There are 3 groups. I have turned on 6 TV channels, which are the blue ones. And yeah, so now I'm ready to go. I can just put this. But one of the good things I like about SoundBase is that if I press this button here and create a real-time site report, it will give me a website which I can open. And this can be sent to anyone, and I can open this on my phone. I can send this to the bands that are incoming, and everyone can have access to see what channels they should be using. If I'm working with a band, I could just give them this link and it will update in real time. So if there is a problem, I can change the frequency and it will update the report in real time. SoundBase is free to use, the web interface. They also have a SoundBase Pro, which will give you an offline app. It will give you an app on the computer, and it will give you some more advanced features like connecting the scanner directly into the software, talking to some of the transmitters like the Shure Axie and stuff. I can sync the software to the receivers to have them update the channels, get battery status, put in names and all of that. I am a beta tester of SoundBase Pro. I've been interested in the product since I first saw it, so I just contacted the manufacturer and I was able to get into the beta. So just a full disclaimer, I'm not paying for it. I'm going to show you SoundBase Pro just for a little bit. One of the, I said before, like I used to use wireless workbench. I was interested in this, so I started using SoundBase, and I've been using that exclusively for all my coordination. I had some issues with wireless workbench. I was trying to get a hold of the manufacturer just because I wanted to talk to them, and I did a 3-week show where I was a frequency coordinator. Had some issues. I wanted to just talk to someone, just tell them my opinions, and I didn't really get in touch with anyone. I went to the local retailer and stuff. Now with SoundBase, they have a Discord server, which I will put a link either in the description or up here. And there's a very active development going on, and more than once or more than twice I have made suggestions and they were just like, oh, that's a great suggestion, and those things have been added in the next software update. And there are software updates very regularly. As you can see now, there's even one available now, but I'm not going to do it at this exact moment. But there is a release notes on the Discord and on the website, so you can see what's being changed. You can file a bug report, you can file a feature request, you can just generally talk to people. I've often like, I'm trying to do this, what am I doing wrong? And I will get a reply very quickly. So I'm going to open my, where is my new project? It's not synced. Oh, maybe because I need to update the thing first. Alright, that was a bit of a hiccup. Anyway, I'm back. So now I opened this thing in the SoundBase Pro desktop app, and I don't have any devices here to connect to, but if I had, they would come into the device. I would select a network interface and it will tell me this, and then I could link that together. I might show that at a later video if anyone's interested. But what I really love about that is the live scan. So now I can take my tiny SA, I can plug that up by USB-C into my computer, turn it on, and select my device, save that, and it's live. Yeah, here it is. You can see the yellow line is the live scan I'm doing right now. Don't have the same range as I did on the offline scan, so I can just come here and I want to see up to 840. The bigger the range, the lower the resolution is. It will have a limited amount of points. But here you can see my environment in live, and I actually have one of those mics here. I'm going to turn it on, and then you can see it here. It pops up right here. That is 638, 200, 250 maybe. And I have another one right here. I can turn that on. It starts over there, and then once it puts up. Yeah, these two mics, as you can see, they are actually right on top of each other, which is on purpose. I did this before. This one is on group 1, channel 1. This one is on group 2, channel 1. So I'm going to move this one, if I can remember how to do that. Yeah. This one. Oh. Put that one into group 1, channel 2. Right, that's it. Alright, it's just finishing now. You can see it moved, and yeah, this looks a bit better. It's quite close, but still it won't be a problem. It's very close to the, there you are, that's more like it. Yeah, you can see like now they're next to each other, but they're not sitting on top as they were before. So if I would be walking into a venue that I don't know and something was already on, like say for this microphone, this may be an in-ear transmitter that's part of the house, I would see that in the scan and I would use that information to calculate my stuff. So I would be avoiding what's already there. As I said, this tiny SA is $120. To do the live scan into SoundBase, you have to have the Pro version, but you can always upload from the SD cards, and there are loads of supported scanners. If you go here and upload, you can see test equipment models. These are all the ones that are supported, and if you have a scan that's not one of those, just go into the Discord, send them a file, and they will make it in pretty much I guarantee the next software release. If they have the information from a scanner which they don't already have, they will usually just add it quickly and easily. As I said before, I try to do this every time I'm having a show. Like, of course, if I don't have time, I will like prioritize, but by doing a quick scan every time I go to a show, it only takes me like 3 minutes to just do the whole thing. And yeah, one thing I want to show you more, let's say I have here in-ears and I want to do I can select one of those and I can do find spares. Then it will find 4 more frequencies for me. And I'm going to add those into a group called I am spares. Well, and my main camera just died. I'll just finish this with the overhead and the phone. I just wanted to show you how quickly and easily you can use SoundBase. If there are any questions regarding SoundBase or frequency calculation, don't hesitate to ask. Since my camera died, you just have to be looking at my computer screen while I finish this. Frequency coordination is a hobby of mine mostly. I do this professionally, but usually there isn't that big of a problem. But shows are always getting bigger. There's more and more wireless equipment involved. So learning to do this can be very valuable once you have the big show, like once you have the 40, 50, 60 channels. SoundBase also has a frequency request form, so if you're doing a festival or will have a guest broadcaster or anything coming in, you can just send them a link which will be a form they fill out, and then you can calculate the frequency based on the information they give you. Since my camera overheated, you'll just have the pleasure of getting this out from the top-down camera. If there are any questions, please ask, leave them in the comments, and if there are any topics you would like me to cover regarding wireless or anything else, just I'm happy to have suggestions. I have a list of stuff I want to do, but I just need to find the time to do it. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, subscribe to my channel. If you have any suggestions, comment, accusations, just put them in the comments. You can always find me on Instagram, Facebook, email me, whatever. I'm always willing to answer some questions. I'm even on Reddit, so you can hate me there. But I'll give you a proper outro next video, I hope, I promise. That's it for now. Thank you.